Samuel 1, 1, 1 and 6 through 10. I happened to be on Mount Gilboa. He replied, and there was Saul leaning on his spear. At that very moment, the chariots and the cavalry were closing in on him. This is the guy coming to David to tell the story about Saul's death. So he's seeing this. For Saul to be leaning on his spear shows that he's wounded, because otherwise he'd be upright fighting. So he would notice by Saul leaning that something was terribly wrong with the battle. And then he saw the cavalry closing in. It would have been more beneficial for the cavalry to just take Saul away rather than him be dead and the new king be crowned. When he turned around and saw me, he called out to me. So I answered, I am your servant. I am at your service. He recognizes him as a king. But we see in the story a little earlier that this guy wasn't an Israelite. He's an Alchemite, which was not of Israel. And we see that here next. He asked me, who are you? And I told him, I am an Alchemite. Then he begged me, stand over me and kill me, for I am mortally wounded by my life. But my life still lingers. So at some point he was probably going to die. It was going to be long term, probably bleed out. And took a long time. And in that process, the other group, I believe it's the Philistines, would have made a mockery of him as king to show that the Israelites shouldn't stand against him. So I stood over him and killed him because I knew that after he had fallen, he couldn't survive. I took the crown that was on his head and the armband that was on his arm, and I brought them here to my Lord. So most likely, because we see a different story in Chronicles, most likely this guy saw Saul's dead body and pretty much just took the stuff to win favor of David, who he knew would have been probably next to be king, considering he probably saw Jonathan's dead body as well. Because Scripture don't contradict itself, so this is most likely what happened. He saw this and making up this story so he can win favor with David. You know, oftentimes it's easy to want our enemies to go away. That ain't how we're supposed to react.